There's that funky live star music that comes out every Monday through Friday. Live at 5 in the Evil Epi Network YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in IE Newswire on all those dads, sons, all in a brawl, smashing each other's cars to death in a night of destruction at the Madhouse. We'll get to that in a minute. Of course, you saw the lead story of the alleged e-bike thief who got karma justice in a Rancho Cucamonga. Well, the latest on the polls, Carson Quaffle took a humongous role at Kansas. We'll cover that. Betty Yee drops out with the latest on Steve versus Chad, and Chad's great answer to Conan O'Brien on NBC's news conference. Bill Saleh gets an arms trafficking arrest here in Southern California. Great job for the great Bill Saleh. We'll give you an update on who's raising what in the California governor's race. On top of all that, but it's iconic. This cat in Rancho Cucamonga steals an e-bike, or allegedly. So, let's roll with what happens as those following are running the tape machine. Here we go.
Like electric bike.
There he goes, kabam! Ooh, does a big endo there in slow motion after allegedly stealing that.
And he just fell off of it. And my husband is, oh my God, my husband's getting,
Allegedly, he had bagged that e-bike there in Rancho C of that, and here you go. We'll see how that all works out for that. The Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium. Absolutely iconic. Dads, sons, competitors, all crashing into each other. After the race.
Trouble on the front stretch. Cates backs into A.J. Sanders. Steven Sanders is in front of him. Steven Sanders backs up. It's a family sandwich, and the Tysinger long hair is in the middle. Now, Austin Cates' dad gets involved.
Now, isn't that wild?
Father's sons wrecking here on the front stretch. The Madhouse goes mad. The crowd is
Watch this.
Kabam.
Kabam. Oh, it gets better.
Sanders versus Cates.
Now we do the reverse.
Each other. Demolition Derby time.
The Malachi Crunch.
Derby might be 4 weeks from now, but right now it's happening. The police have entered the field. The 83 is up over the front of his son's car. Steven Sanders says, "I've had enough."
Oh, man.
Stopping the competitors right now.
Only at the Madhouse.
Intervened.
Where they have cops on scene.
Blaze Sanders brings his car. A.J. Sanders is out of his car. He's not happy. He comes around. Here comes Austin Cates out of his car. Austin Cates yelling over his car. The black machine. He is not happy with A.J. Sanders.
I wouldn't be either after all that. It's a wonder he didn't get his head caved in.
The police are escorting Austin Cates off the racetrack right now.
They don't call it the Madhouse
escort off the
for
racetrack.
nothing.
Steven Sanders is driven away.
Here it is again.
In our Hudson
Isn't this wild?
replay.
Here's the
Cates
first crash.
stuck on the outside. You see Sanders there get to the bottom.
Neither of them
Cates
let
got
off.
Loose and sideways. Now he's trying to hang on to it to try to save his race. Nothing A.J. Sanders can do there.
That was a wild scene, and that's why they call Bowman Gray Stadium there in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Madhouse, and that's what packs them in, 10 to 15,000 strong. What a deal of that. Here was another slow speed chase. Man, we're getting all the car crashes done and off the beginning. Here's a wild one on ABC. Here, hopefully, we go.
In a suspected stolen vehicle from Chatsworth to Canoga Park. The LAPD laid down spike strips, but she kept going on flat tires. 1, 2, 3 attempted pit maneuvers, but she managed to get away until her tires fell apart and she fishtails before coming to that crashing ending.
Another wild scene, man. The crashes, whether they be on the racetrack or in the center median and or on the racetrack. This is, of course, Carson Quaffle at Kansas Speedway. Here we go.
Oh, he just got a little loose. Oh, it's just the contact with the outside wall, and then Retzloff hit him in the rear, and man, you just don't see that very often at a track of this size, but get a little bit of air under the car, and then you're just along for the ride.
That was a nasty one. He climbed out of the car, seemed to be fine and dandy after that wild ride. Lots of stuff going on. Hopefully we'll have a report tomorrow on I went to the Orange Show Speedway. The National Orange Show was on. We'll have a big report on that tomorrow as we go. On top of that, good old Gavin Newsom. We'll get the fun stuff out of the way. Good old Gavin Newsom touts 420 day for all you weeders out there. This is your day. 420 used to be the number for, oh, you were busted for weed. But that, in most states, is long gone. There is no penalty for being busted on weed or anything else. But the thing of it is that Gavin Newsom touts the California cannabis industry. We're the one state that screwed this thing up. We tried taxing it too hard at the beginning. Now, the cartels run things and are stronger. More illegal weed or weed bought on the black market is sold now in California than before when we legalized the stuff. This is how stupid California is. We screwed up the weed deal. How is that possible? From this clown, Gavin Newsom. And to think he might become president of the United States in 2028. Please. Please, people. Use a little common sense. Do you want gas across the nation like we have it here? And no matter what's going on in Iran and Trump and all this other stuff, check this out. California, $7.20 a gallon for gas. You go across the Colorado River to Arizona, it's $4.03. Now, in both cases, it's $1 too high. But, vaya caramba, this issue's got to stop. I mean, holy cow. $3 plus a gallon more? We're paying almost twice the national average, and there is no reason for it except we're getting effed over by the politicians. I'd say $3 of that is going to the government, mostly to the state of California. Whew. We'll get into the rest of the stuff that happened this weekend, the bombings. That oil tanker one was pretty slick. The Hormuz open, Hormuz closed. What's all going on with that? On the rest of today's show. It's always fun when you come in. Usually come in early, fire everything up around noon or so, just to make sure everything's working here in the studio. No power. Only here. Go in there, hit the breakers off, hit that, kaboom, kicks the breaker again, flash and fire out. So I had to scramble around getting everything temporarily hung in because I figured, well, there's a short in the panel or the wires hitting on something or whatever, because whatever's shorting, I mean, whatever's directly shorting this deal out is not going to be an easy fix. So I had to scramble around all day to try to temper everything, drop cord, get everything in so I could fire up today. That's why we were running a tad late, because we were under the gun. But lots of stuff going on. That's been my fun day today, for whatever that is worth on the enchilada. But we'll soldier through. Again, I can't believe we're paying this amount of freaking money for gas. $7.20 in California, go right across the Colorado River, $4.03 for gas that's coming out of the same freaking refineries, with the 3 or 4 that are left down in the South Bay, Torrance, El Segundo, wherever. This stuff, again, the rest of the nation, you think it's a joke? Okay, I get to California, we'll take the land of fruits and nuts and all that sort of crap. This is coming to you, I know, and I wish Trump would have never got into the Iran thing or the Middle East or even got into that conflict, but here we are. Hopefully that will end soon. We'll get to the Hormuz stuff in a minute. But if you think the solution is Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris, get ready for this ish, because it's coming. You have been warned. Time and again. Hopefully we'll be paying attention. Ignore this at your own peril. One of the tragic stories was Celeste Rivas, a Lake Elsinore teenager, who was found dead, burned up a month later in a Tesla at an LA Beverly Hills towing company. It's been going on for a year. Singer or rapper, whatever he's, David, who spells it D4VD or something. He was finally charged with first-degree murder. Here's the CBS 2 report. We were hoping.
Rick Montanez live in downtown LA. Rick, what are we expecting to learn? Because there's a lot of questions right now.
Yeah, Chris, Amy, so we just noticed that they posted booking information here as they get ready for this news conference that says charges 187 for murder. They posted the booking photo as well of David Burke, the suspect in this case. We're waiting for the district attorney, Nathan Hochman, to come into the room, as well as the chief of police, Jim McDonnell, here with LAPD. So that should happen any moment now. We want to show you the moment that LAPD officers first arrested David Burke. Again, he goes by the stage name of David. This is video obtained by the California Post. It happened last Thursday in the Hollywood Hills. The 21-year-old singer-songwriter arrested after LAPD broke down a door, according to neighbors. Let's show you now the victim in the case, Celeste Rivas. She was reported missing when she was 13 years old. That was in early 2024. David was first confirmed as a target of a grand jury investigation back in February in connection with her murder. So Rivas's remains, we know, had been discovered in the trunk of that Tesla, the front trunk. The Tesla registered to David, and that Tesla was found at a Hollywood tow yard last September. That was nearly a year and a half.
One thing I want to talk about is the culture. The culture with the language and the F words and the N words and everything else and the gold chains and all that and the look. How many times we got to come up with?
Half after her family reported her missing.
These incidents, these tragic incidents. This happens to hit close to home in Lake Elsinore because a Lake Elsinore teenager was 14 or 15 at the time when she became missing. And then we had to go through all this rigmarole. But if we allow the ones that listen to guys like this and embrace this culture with the little earrings and the painted fingernails and the gold chains and the gold hats and the whole just FU culture, we as a society reap what we sow. So I hope if he gets convicted, I hope he gets, well, getting the death penalty is almost useless in California. But the broader question is those who embrace that culture are contributing mightily not only to their own degradation, but the degradation of society in general. The Great Bill of Sale announced the arrest of an Iranian arms trafficker here in SoCal. Here's a Fox 11 report.
Traffic arms to Iran. Welcome to the Fox 11 Weekend News. I'm Susan Hirosuna. U.S. officials say the 44-year-old Woodland Hills resident could face decades in prison if convicted. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon is live outside the district courthouse in downtown L.A., where the suspect is expected to make her first appearance tomorrow. Rachel.
Yeah, Susan, there have been several recent arrests, as you know, of Iranian nationals right here in the L.A. area. And the U.S. administration right now, they've made it very clear. They say they're not going to tolerate anyone who breaks the law and poses a threat to the U.S. A major arrest at LAX Saturday night. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley posting on X saying that this woman, 44-year-old Shamim Mafia Woodland Hills, was charged for allegedly brokering the sale of drones, bombs, bomb fuses, and millions of rounds of ammunition manufactured by Iran and sold to Sudan. U.S. officials say Mafi is an Iranian national who became a lawful permanent resident of the United States in 2016. According to the criminal complaint, she maintains a residence in Woodland Hills and travels frequently to Iran, Turkey, and other countries.
And it's got to be stopped.
As the war in Iran continues, some in the valley are applauding federal agents' action Saturday night at LAX.
It's magnificent that they're cracking down, and they have to stick to it. You know, you start a game, you finish it.
According to the
1,000%. And for all the faults that Donald J. Trump may have, putting Bill Asaley in, getting not only cleaning up our streets, the fraud, the arms trafficking, and everything else, putting good people, which has been very hard. They've been trying to knock Bill Asaley out. Both Democrats and Republicans do not want him in there. They've tried every trick in the book, courts, everything else to get him out of there. This is the latest arrest by Asaley. Someone I've known for probably 15 years. And, you know, one of the people that will stood up and asked for Renee Hill, the superintendent of Riverside School District, to resign over having boys and girls sports, along with Leticia Castillo, our esteemed assemblywoman. That's very rare in our politics today to have stand-up people like that. And we definitely need to applaud those who are doing that and having it. Here's Tony Villar, and we're going to get into the election stuff a little bit. But if your friends are voting Democrat and you want Steve or Chad to win, and we need top 2 in June for that to happen, we need to start promoting Tony Villar Jr. Antonio Villaraigosa. Here he is on Fox Local.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Been a long time.
Yeah. Mail-in ballots go out on May 4th. You can cast your ballot in person up to June 2nd. So, you've had a long, distinguished career in the public service. You know, you're relatively young, in great shape, happy and healthy. Why do you want this job?
This state's given me more than I could have ever hoped for, but it's got big challenges. We need a proven problem solver. You said it. I've been Speaker of the California State Assembly, where I balanced two budgets when we were a purple state and had to work with the other side, a Republican governor, and then a blue state with a Democratic governor. Author of the largest expansion of healthcare, healthy families, millions of kids got healthcare. I was mayor. You remember those days. LA was one of the most violent big cities in America. By the time I left, it was one of the safest with New York. 48% drop in violent crime, a 60% increase in the graduation rate. #1 American city in reducing greenhouse gases, and built more infrastructure than anybody in the United States. We had cranes all over LA. Today there's one.
Now, I'm not saying to get people, if they're voting Steve or Chad, to get them, but those of your friends, relatives that are stuck on the Democratic daisy train, we need to, we'll get into more why. We need to elevate Tony Villar, get them to vote for Villaraigosa. We need, the top 2 in June is alive and well. We're gonna give you more evidence as we're 2 weeks before voting starts. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got the opportunity to win the Hail Mary Pass, and it's becoming more likely every day. We cannot snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. We can guarantee a Republican governor in June 2nd, 2026 in California. Has it really happened since 94? And I'm not counting Arnold Kennedy, even though he was a registered Republican. He governed almost strictly loon Democrat. He started off a little pretty good, and then it all went to pieces. But that's history today. Let's not repeat the mistakes of the past. Got a shot to get it done. We're going to roll more into what happens, the latest Democratic internal poll, and the race and everything else coming up here soon when we join the Mighty Met KMET, as we usually do. And we will rock and roll as only we can, given the only analysis you're going to get at this time. And you have that.
Got about 30 seconds.
As Sean said, you're about to get a heap of it here in less than 30 seconds. There are things we got outlook to be optimistic. I know there's problems and all the other stuff, but there is things that we have that we can affect going forward. Maybe will dig us out of some of these holes, and we will provide the path to victory. Lord knows, we need a big dose of
Here
that.
we go, 10 seconds.
Around.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Joining our vast video audience in the EVLP Network, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe. Type in IE Newswire Roy Bleckert. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face. You catch the first half hour of the show. Go back and look at all the archives and see how we did, or criticize, critique, all that good stuff. It's all fun. It's all good. And it's all relevant. Dude did an endo and allegedly after stealing an e-bike in Rancho C. You got to check the video of that out. It was karma has a way of working things out. Dads, sons, competitors, all smashing into each other. After a race, a demolition derby breaks out at the Madhouse at Bowman Gray Stadium. We had the videotape of that. You got to check that out. Carson Quaffle took a wild ride at Kansas of that. I went to the Orange Show Speedway in the fair on Saturday. We'll have a report on that maybe tomorrow on that. Of course, no electricity here just in the studio. Things were blowing up and stuff, so we just barely made it on today, as we highlighted in the first part of the show. But I want to catch into top 2 in June, where you first heard it here, unless somebody can prove different, over a year ago, right here on KMET 1490 on IE Newswire with yours truly saying, we got a shot to elect a Republican, a governor at least, that's at least maybe going to stop digging the hole. Maybe they learned a little bit of the first law of holes when you're in one, stop digging, because Lord knows. We in California dug such a deep hole. We had the graphic earlier. 720 on the California side. Go across the Colorado River. $4.03 in Arizona. Coming out of the same refinery in El Segundo or Torrance. Refined the gas at the same spot, came out of the same place, paid the same per barrel per oil, almost half. The latest Democratic internal poll, and this is why you can almost guarantee the Democrats are nervous as all heck. Steve Hilton, 16% plus 2. Chad Bianco, 14 minus. Javier Baccaria jumped 9 points to 13%. There's Gray Davis. Gray Davis is a prophet. We had him had his clip a week ago in the New York Post article. Do not get out. Told any of them not to get out of the race. Although Betty Yee at her 1% and Tony Thurman a few days ago both dropped out. So you see he's up 9 points. Stiers plus 2 at 13. Katie Porter's still holding at 10. Mayann's at 5. Villaraigosa at 2. They're still not putting Swalwell in. They should. I bet you Swalwell, if they would have put his name in there, would have been between 5 and 10% and probably would have took a lot off of Baccaria. Plus, they are cooking this poll. Baccaria did not jump 9 points in a week. No way. He didn't do anything. We'll get to the money numbers of that. He has a few bucks. He just barely started any media campaign. They're trying to push Baccaria. Although, I will say this. On the list, Nancy Pelosi absolutely despises, hates. Wouldn't piss on Katie Porter if her guts were on fire and she was laying in the middle of the street. Second behind that is Javier Baccaria on her list. Now, Gabby doesn't really like him either, but the Democrat Party is trying to push. Remember the other poll that came out? Oh, Baccaria jumps up to 10 points, this one 9 points. Over nothing. So they're trying to push this. What they can't do is get rid of Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco 1 and 2 is what they're doing. And this is why I say, and I ran that clip just before we come on of Villaraigosa, and we'll get more into it. Mayann's coming on. He's got money. He's got about 10 million. He's got PACs with anywhere from probably 30 to 50 million to spend here in the next 6 weeks. So he's going to jump up. But that's going to come, and you're down to 20%. Not sure when they were 25% a week ago, or I think 10 days ago when the last poll was taken by the California Democratic Party. So you got this whole deal coming on here. But they still, Steve and Chad, 1-2. And the Democrats know they can't push that narrative, even though they're trying to consolidate around Baccaria. Or they're trying to push that narrative. The drumbeat from the Democratic Party is much harder because every day they're more convinced. Steve and Chad are going to come out 1-2 on this whole enchilada. And man, what a glorious day it will be. Chad Bianco, our Riverside County Sheriff and candidate for governor, was on with Colin Nolan on NBC News Conference, I think the longest running show in Southern California. So let's roll into that. Here we go. We thought it was going to play. Here we go.
I think millions of Californians are going to say, you know what, we're going to vote for a pro-Trump Republican.
Donald Trump's not running for election. I'm running this election for Californians. This isn't for the Democrat Party. It's certainly not for Republican Party or Independent Party. This is for Californians, and that includes all of us. And I think that's what people of California in this campaign, me being at the top of the polls, is showing that people are ready for something different outside of typical politics.
President Trump has endorsed the other Republican in the race, Steve Hilton. Why does that not matter as far as you're concerned?
It probably does matter. It probably does matter a lot.
You're still in the race.
I'm still in the race, of course I am, and more popular than Steve Hilton, who our president endorsed. So it's okay with me. It's not going to change our campaign. I think it's probably going to hurt him for the reasons that you just said, that the president that won the overwhelming majority of the population vote in the country lost by a lot in California. So we don't think that endorsement by the president is going to help Steve Hilton.
Okay, so you've said that we have too many regulations.
Tons. 400,000 on businesses.
Okay, give us three that you'd want to eliminate day one.
Every single regulation that is harming our oil industry, every single regulation involving our building industry, and the big ones, the big industry, the big segments come from the California Coastal Commission, CEQA, and CARB.
We need more housing. We need to go denser because the era of the subdivision and...
Let's back up a tad on that. CEQA. There you see it. California Environmental Quality Act. It needs to be repealed. 1,000%. We need to start completely over with that. There's no reforming it, nothing. It needs to be gone, junked, 1,000%. Of course, the oil regulations and all that, California Coastal Commission, CARB, California Resources Board, that's how we get rid of $7.20 a gallon gas and get it down to $4.03 like it is in Arizona when you just cross over the line. Oh, you drive 100 feet over the Colorado River and boom, gas is almost half. Here's more with Chad and Colin Nolan. We thought.
CARB. We need more housing. We need to go denser because the era of the subdivision and tying everything by freeway is over. Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. Do you want to live in an apartment? Do you want to?
Yes, what the hell is Colin Nolan talking about? We need more 100-foot. He's going to say something that's going to, well, if you're from Mobile, it'll fry your chips. We need more. No, we do not need more high-density housing. We need to return California back to the once golden state it was, when you could afford to buy a home, when you could afford to build your home custom dream house on a 1/2-acre lot in Moreno Valley, and earn a decent wage to raise your family, put your kids through college, do all this stuff. Go to Disneyland. Race at the Orange Show or Paris Auto Speedway or whatever your trip was.
Want to live under somebody else's rules?
Yes, but
the answer is no.
Right, but if your kid graduates from college, they're not going to buy a house immediately, but they do need to find an apartment.
Why aren't they?
Well,
they are in other states.
Well,
they're not in California.
Right, because we have a robust economy, and that's one of the reasons
Because we have if we had a robust economy, Colin, they would be able to afford a house. They cannot afford a house because we do not have a robust ecology adjusted for inflation or anything else. I like Colin. He's great. He's been on there. He's usually pretty good. I don't know why he trips his trigger on this, but he's 111% wrong. Chad's 111% right. Here we go.
I mean, but here's the point. I lived in 4 or 5 apartments before I bought a house. You save for that.
I did too.
You need a place to live right out of college. Our college kids can't find an apartment. So when you say we're not going to build more apartments, you're just going to build more Moreno Valleys?
Yeah,
Did you catch that? Oh, we're going to build more Moreno Valleys? Look, they're densifying up this area. What the hell does he think Aquabella is 40,000 new apartment residents? We went from single family to 1 acre lots, to 5 lots to an acre, to R6, and we doubled that. Now we're back to that stuff again, R10, even worse than R6. 10 units per acre in a so-called single family house, which isn't. And we used to be affordable. Yeah, Colin, you used to be able to come out here in Moreno Valley and be able to start up and buy a house or rent an apartment. It's too damn expensive. Rent is too damn high, Colin. Because of all these stupid policies, and making it more dense is going to lower our quality of life. Look at the California Legislative Analyst's Office says it does 2 things. It lowers your quality of life and reduces kids' education, their ability to earn. Jeez. Oh, the Moreno Valley. Yeah. What? You want your ideas to make it worse than what Moreno Valley was? You want 100-story New York City skyscrapers? Come on.
I haven't heard one single person say we can't find an apartment. There is for rent signs all over the place.
They can't afford an apartment.
That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with the availability. We can't afford things because the government drove the cost up.
That's all you need to know. Could agree 111% everything Chad said. CARB, California Resources Board, climate change, the whole phony thing. That's why we're paying $7 a gallon for gas out of the same refinery, same place, drive 100 feet over the Colorado River, and it's $4.03. Just like housing and education, everything, government, our policies, we've elected government officials to screw it up. Bullet train and every other stupid, idiotic, dumb idea. We need to stop voting for this ignorant stuff. We'll get into more, hopefully, the Nick Shirley and the fraud investigation. But this is one of the co-authors of the bill trying to say, well, no, I really didn't author anything about it. Here's from the Nick Shirley AB 2624, which is aiming to shut us all up. Oh, they don't like what you're reporting? Then just start suing everybody who's reporting this. Basically, and hopefully, if they do pass it, the Supreme Court should overturn it immediately. And if they don't, I'm 98.7% sure they will. Because if AB 2624 passes, all media will be basically Pravda, state-run, communist, whatever the government wants. Here we go.
How are you guys doing? We just want to ask you about the bill and why you guys would pass this bill that really is an attack on free speech.
I am not even sure what you're talking about.
Really?
You said an author. I don't think.
Yes. Did you pass out? Did you sign to pass this bill? The AB 26?
No, I don't
24?
know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You do not.
No,
Are
you
you
guys
serious?
are just talking about something.
Yeah, we're talking about something random. Okay.
Susan Rubio co-author of the bill. Co-author to the bill of Pravda, making all media subservient, state-run, in control of the state of California, the state legislature, the governor, the attorney general. Oh, I don't know. You saw the deal there. She's a co-author. Oh, well, I don't know. You can't make this stuff up. Precisely. It's meant to shut up like Nick Shirley, Lori Mills, Amy Reichert here in California, many others, us. Anytime you point to fraud, they don't like it. It's going to let immigrant non-government organizations funding become confidential. You can't see it. Where's the transparency? They're shoving transparency right up your rear end. It's again, how we get into these situations. Absolutely flippin' astonishing. The whole Strait of Hormuz, Friday, oh, everything's open. We come down, everything's closed. They're bombing the ships. You know, we bombed the Iranian ship that tried to cross. Vance was going. Now he's not going over there to negotiate. Again, and you might call this harsh. You might not agree. But in my world, my foreign policy with that whole Middle East is you draw a fence around it. Israel, Iran, Afghanistan, whole thing. And I would go like the Constitution of the United States and our forefathers said. You guys fight within inside of your fence line, we're out of it. If you guys attack us or attack our some way U.S. citizens, we will blow the whole thing to smithereens. Everything. All of it. So you guys got two choices. You guys can either negotiate that out, or if you want to test the United States, then don't gripe when you see the result. Here's the warning they gave before they hit the bombs that hit the engine of the Iranian tanker that was trying to cross the naval blockade. Here we go.
Motor Vessel Tosca, vacate your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire. Okay, we gave the flare. Now we're getting be ready.
That's just a snapshot of the way I would handle the situation. And like you said, I'd say the line, this is your deal. If you stay inside of your side of the fence, then it's your problem. You make it our problem, we'll take care of it. We're not taking sides on any of y'all's. We're not rebuilding this or doing that. if we engage, we're going to level the whole thing. Not going crazy. I'm just telling you what we're going to do if this stuff keeps happening. If you are threatening the United States of America, then we will show you how we are going to take care of business. We're not negotiating. We're not doing this. There it is. No crocodile tears of what happens if you guys want to play FAFO. Quick update on the Swalwell investigation. Lana Drew's attorney, Lisa Bloom, was on to give an update. Looks like the LA County or DA is on the case or is looking into it, into the Swalwell investigations and the allegations of Lana Drews. Here we go.
Well, I'm very proud to represent the brave Lana Drews. Right after the press conference, we went to the sheriff's station in West Hollywood, which is the appropriate jurisdiction for her complaint. We sat down with the detective there and a couple of other deputies. She answered all of their questions, provided some evidence, and they then took it under submission to investigate. They asked us to return for a follow-up interview. It's now been escalated to the Special Victims Unit and an attorney from the District Attorney's Office. So we returned yesterday with these new folks, and Lana again went through the whole story, answered all of their questions, provided evidence. She has some additional evidence she needs to get out of the storage unit. There are some additional witness names, people she talked to after the incident. So we are following up with all of that, fully cooperating with the sheriff's investigation.
And at this point, I mean, just given that, would it be fair to say that you think law enforcement is taking this seriously?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, they have raised it up to a higher level. They're taking a great deal of time, and there's no question in my mind they're taking it very seriously.
I know you said earlier this week in the press conference that 3 other women reached out to you. I mean, is it possible that others at this point have? Like, how many people so far have you heard from?
Yeah, that number is now 4, and I haven't even really checked my messages yet this morning. So
the number's up to 4. It looks like the LA County DA is taking it seriously. At least they're looking into the alleged rape of Lana Drews by Eric the Spy Swalwell. It's not good when they say, you know, it's up to 4 women now, but I haven't checked my messages yet. There might be more. Holy cow. Again, I think it would be different. You know, getting back to that in the California governor's race and him coming out, I'm sure Eric Swalwell should be polled. I'm saying he's going to get around 5%. I'm saying he probably lands still anywhere from 5 to 10% in the poll. I think that's not why they're showing it. Maybe they're kind of hedging it like second choice, da-da-da-da. I don't know if they're posting the crosstabs on the internal poll for the Democrats. That will be interesting to see as we dig into it. It just came out just before the show. But again, the Democrats, at least on the Republican side, have no reason to skew it. They're still, no matter how they cut or slice or try to field the question, they cannot get, whether it's the Icky 8, the Flummoxed 5, or whatever number. But I really think after Betty Yee drops out today, and you know, her 1%er, 2%ers, and Tony Thurmond, I don't think Villarugosa's going anywhere. They've all got plenty of money. 610, KTLA 5. Excuse me. Had the deal, besides Tom Steyer spending over $120 million, everybody else still has enough money to make this thing roll. It's going to be interesting to see if Baccaria gets up on the gas and they try to consolidate around him. I say good luck with that. There's probably going to be a lot of reasons why they're thinking Baccaria, but we'll discuss that in the next coming 2 weeks. That'll do it for today. As we usually say at this time, mandatory, you're back here 23 hours wide. You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Until then, see ya.
The proceeding was a paid.
Well, at least we made it through there, Roy.
What a deal, barely.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. Too bad Dr. Kelly couldn't make it today, but...
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess she's out all this week, so hopefully she'll be back Monday.
All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you later.
You got it.
Bye.